What's up and welcome back to my YouTube channel. My name is Morella Manelli and today I'm going to be piggybacking off of another hair video that I just created, which was 3 ways to install hair tinsel. But in this video, I'm going to show you 3 additional ways to install as well as remove. Now, I had tons of questions on exactly how the removal process happens, so that's exactly what I'm going to do in this video today, as well as 3 additional creative ways to just put them in as a hairstylist or a hair professional. But before we get started, make sure you hit that subscribe button and turn on all notifications so you don't miss a video. Now let's go ahead and get started. Now, I was really excited to see how many people loved my last hair tinsel video, and in that particular video I showed how to do a beaded method, a single-sided tape, as well as a slip knot. But in this video I'm gonna show you how to remove those methods, but I'm also going to show you some advanced versions of hair tinsel application specifically for hairstylists or hair pros. Now, just like I did in my last hair tinsel video, I am going to be using all Donna Bella hair tinsel. So if you want more information about Donna Bella hair or hair tinsel, be sure to check out that video down below in the description, or if you want to just head on over to their website, there's also a little special coupon code that you can take advantage of for your purchase. So today I'm going to be showing you how to install hair tinsel with a Kera-Link. Now, this is something I didn't show in the last video, as well as I'm going to show you an advanced version for tape in as well as a Weft install. I'm actually really excited about the hybrid Weft because not too many people do this technique, so make sure you watch to the end to watch how I do that. Now, there are some changes to the beaded and the tape-in method versus the last video, so make sure you watch that one if you want like the beginner's version. This one in this video is going to be a little bit more advanced, so I kind of like to call this one for like the hairstylists. Okay, so here is my lovely mannequin. And I'm just going to show you how to install. So we're just going to take that small section. I have my pre-loaded beads here, so they're already pre-tied. Going to loop that through. And then taking this Lux tool, we're going to slide that bead right on up. Make sure it's parallel and horizontal to your section. And then you're just going to secure that bead right on down. And now you have your hair tinsel installed. Now, just for funsies, I went ahead and put in 3 just so you can see them side by side and exactly how it looks. Now, of course, as you add in more, you can really create some gorgeous highlights, really. But how do you remove these? This was like one of the most popular questions on my last video. So it's really simple. So once you've secured your bead and they've grown out in about 6 weeks or so, your client's going to come back in, and in order to remove this, you're going to need this Lux tool once again. Now, there is a little cylinder right in the center of this Lux tool, and this is what's going to help open up that bead. And the way you do that is you're going to isolate your bead, insert your Lux tool, and then gently press down to pop open that bead, and it slides right on out. Now that I showed you one way to install and remove, I'm actually going to show you another way on how to install your tinsel without pre-loading your beads. So you're just going to take a really small section that's no wider than the bead that you're working with. Once you've done this, you're going to take your hair tinsel and layer it right on top of that. And you're going to take your loop tool with beads already preloaded here. But there's no hair tinsel on these beads, so I just want to reiterate that. It's just a singular bead here. And all you're going to do is loop that hair and hair tinsel all the way through. And now your tinsel is already installed. You don't have to necessarily make a knot. It's just going to stay in nice and snug once you've secured it with this Luxe tool. And now it's installed. And you would remove it exactly the same way that we removed these first beads. Now I'm going to show you how to do it with a single-sided tape, but I'm going to incorporate this really fun pop of purple color, also from Donna Bella Hair. Now these are tape ends, and this is like the entire pack that comes, so I'm just going to cut these little strings that it normally comes in with my stork shears. And again, you can find all of these tools on their website. And I'm just gonna take one singular tape right here. And in order for me to do this, I'm gonna install the tape a little differently than I normally do. So if you wanna check out a tape and install, be sure to check out the description down below. But I am gonna need one of these little mini clips just to kind of hold it in place for me. But how I'm gonna do it is I'm gonna take a really thin section that's the width of my tape. I don't want this section to be too dense, so I want it just thin enough. So it should be the exact width of your tape. And I'm going to take these little pieces off, those little tabs, and I'm going to place this tape right underneath my section and bring this hair down. And then I usually take the back of my rat tail comb just to kind of smooth that over. So from here I like to prep my tinsel, and I'm just going to split the tinsel right in half, and then using my strand organizer I'm just going to kind of fan these out exactly how I want them to live. So I'm basically prepping it so that way it can become a tape. Next I'm going to take my single-sided tape, also from Donna Bella Hair, and it comes in a little sheet like this, and I'm just going to peel that tab right on out, so as you can see it's clear. And I'm going to take those rounded edges and make sure they're facing up, because that's the direction of how my tape is looking. And I'm just going to place this tab right on top of this tinsel. And it's already doing a really great job sticking. So now I got all of this excess little tiny rainbow here, and this is where I'm just going to take my stork shears and trim off the excess. Now it's ready to install on top of this pop of color, which makes this so fun. So I'm just going to place this right on top here. And then make sure to really press down in the center and on the sides, so that way I get a nice, secure, snug fit. And how cute is that? Now I'm going to show you how I normally do a removal process for this, just using the purple so that we can really see. And how I normally install my tape is by placing the tape right on top and pulling this section up. So it actually creates my section for me right here. You can see it just really makes the hair kind of stand up there. So I'm able to go ahead and select the proper amount of density. So this is a little bit different than how I installed this hair tinsel with the pop of color. So there are two different ways. This is my preferred method, but when I'm doing tinsel, I do it the way I showed you on this side. So once you get this in, and these have grown out, you're going to need to remove them with the right tools. Now, in order to remove this tape, or even the tape with the tinsel in it, you're gonna need the Donna Bella tape and bond remover. It comes in a little spray bottle, and you simply just spray a few sprays right onto your bond. But just so you guys are certain, look, I'm pulling on it. This tape is not going anywhere, okay? So you're just gonna take your spray and basically saturate it. I just do about 3. Now, for whatever reason, it's kind of like really in there, you can spray the underneath as well. And then I just give it a few seconds. And you only want to do this as you're working on each tape. You don't want to spray each of them and then go through it, because then it starts to get really kind of gummy. And then this tape literally just comes right apart. And that's it. Look at how that slides right on out. Now from here, you can go ahead and remove this tape and then rebond them with those single-sided tapes, and you can reuse this hair again. That's what makes it so amazing. Now I'm gonna show you my next two kind of fun methods, which is installing with a keratin bond or fusion bond and making your own tinsel with that. And I'm also gonna show you how to remove it, and then I'm gonna show you how to install the tinsel onto your hybrid weft. So in order to prep these, I'm using the Donabella Rebronze in clear. Now they do come in brown and black as well, but since we're doing tinsel, the clear is perfect. I'm going to show you two different ways to use a rebond. So the first way is to really make your own i-Link. This isn't something that I necessarily mentioned at the beginning of the video, but I basically take that rebond and place it onto my melting connector, and then take my tinsel and then place it right onto that bond in the melting connector. And it literally heats up within 3 seconds. So you kind of have to be really fast with this. And then once you put that tinsel right onto that bond, you're able to roll it into place, and then that way you can use a flare bead to install. Now the second way that you're going to make a keratin bond tinsel is taking that clear rebond, still heating it up for that 3 to 5 seconds, and inserting that tinsel. But when you go through to shape it, you're going to shape it in more of a rectangular or square shape, because we are going to reheat this bond up and roll it right into the hair, making this last a really long time. This bond is actually going to last longer than I think the tinsel will. So here are the two techniques side by side. One's an i-Link and one's a keratin bond. Let me know which one you think you'd like to use down below. So in order to install our makeshift i-Link here, I am going to be using a flare bead. So these are a little different. They come in a different packaging, and you can see they're a little longer in size. They are installed very similarly to the silicone bead method, but we're going to take a section of hair that's just as wide as my flare bead. And what's cool is you'll be able to see exactly what they look like side by side. So you can already see this one's a little longer in its size. And this is going to allow me to add in this tip and insert it. And then taking that same Lux tool, I'm just going to secure it in place. And these are actually removed in the exact same method as these silicone beads. But you can already tell this has a much bigger pop of color versus the silicone bead method. So lots of variations that we have going on here. Now I'm going to show you one last method on how to install and remove, and that's with the Kera-Link option here. So you can see this one's a little bit more flat, and we're actually going to remelt this onto the hair. So this is a keratin bond. It is not glue. Everyone always asks that. So I'm just going to take a section of hair that's as small as my section of hair or tinsel that I've picked up. I'm going to add my tinsel right here, and then taking my heat tool, and I'm just going to go ahead and melt that for about 3 to 5 seconds, tap it in, and then roll it into the hair. And again, you can see these have a very similar outcome, just a different install method. So it's all about what you and your client want to achieve with tinsel. Do you want something that's really minimal? Do you want a bold pop of color, or do you want these really striking ribbons of tinsel to come across? So in order to remove your keratin bond, you are going to need the Donabella Keratin Bond Remover. Now it comes in this bottle, and I went ahead and installed a brown Kera-Link so that way you can really see exactly what it looks like. And all you do is spray it on for a few little sprays there. And then you're going to take your Donabella Luxe tool. So you can see this tool is very versatile. And there's actually like little crushers like in here, so that's the part that you're going to use. So this is going to crush the bond so that way it can release from the hair. Now this is a brand new bond, so it might give you a little extra trouble, but usually after wear and tear of these bonds, they slide right off after this process. So I just basically turn the bond around and make sure to crush it on all sides because that's what's going to loosen it up. And then you're going to take the actual keratin hair and make sure to hold the actual hair in place while you slip that right on out. And then from here you're just going to comb the excess right on out, and she's ready to go. And here's the very last method that I'm going to show you is how to add tinsel to your hybrid weft. Now this is a great add-on service that is a little time consuming, but there's two ways on how you can loop through this tinsel into your hybrid weft. The first way is of course sewing it into the actual weft itself. Now I typically would recommend using a traditional sewing bead for this because the hybrid weft is pretty thin on top. That's what makes it so unique. It's thin as hand tied, but it's machine bonded, and these Donabella needles are a little bit on the thick side, so they're great for actually sewing in the weft to the actual hair. Now the second option, which is my favorite, is just simply tying a singular or a few strands at a time onto the hybrid weft, and this is going to help that tinsel stay in place for the longevity of the hybrid weft. And you can make these as big of a pop or as subtle as you'd like, which makes this again a very unique customized service that you can charge for and prep for when you're doing these weft installs. And this wraps up my 3 additional ways to install and remove hair tinsel. So I really hoped you enjoyed this hair tutorial, and if you did, please give this video a thumbs up, make sure to subscribe, comment down below what your favorite method is, and I'll be sure to respond. You can also find me on my other social channels like Instagram, Facebook, and TikTok, all under Mirella Manelli. And if you want to learn more about anything Donabella hair, be sure to head on over to DonabellaHair.com, and also don't forget to use coupon code Mirella to save 10% off your purchase. And if you love listening to podcasts and you want to get more information about everything hair, beauty, and business, be sure to check me out on Airbnb. It's available on all streaming platforms, and it's where I help hairstylists just like you simplify color, styling, and their beauty biz. And if you are a hair professional that really wants to elevate their hair business, you're looking to maybe monetize on social media, work with brands, or just simply become an influencer and learn creative ways on how to market you and your business on social media, whether that's YouTube, Instagram, TikTok, and even Facebook and Pinterest, or maybe building your website, be sure to check out Beyond the Chair Mastermind. It's a community group coaching session that's held once a month, and on top of that, you're able to go back and binge watch all of the other sessions that you may have not attended. Plus there's some special bonuses like how to write the perfect social media bio and content ideas and so much more. If you want to learn more about the other educational offerings that I have, be sure to check out the link in the description down below, or you can head on over to my website, MirellaManelli.com, and you can sign up for my newsletter where you'll get free information sent right to your inbox. And one last thing, be sure to share this video with a friend who would love content like this, and be sure to smash that like button, subscribe, and I will see you in the next video.